Hello, class. My kids drew this morning, and I thought it was applicable for today's video and these next few weeks, trying to hang in there through the end of the pandemic and everything else going on. Hope y'all are doing well. Today, I'm just going to work through the yield to call problem. That's number 4 on that second handout that I posted on Moodle. So we'll work through that, and I'll talk through a little more information on bonds. But this is it for chapter 7. So if after this video and everything else we've done, you feel pretty good, you should be all right on chapter 7. Then next week, we'll jump into chapter 9 and work with stocks and dividends. Disclaimer, I'm at home right now making this video. Probably 50-50 chance at least 1 or 2 kids run in. So just excuse them ahead of time if it does happen, or a dog or whatever else may bust through the doors. All right, so number 4, we've got Apple has bonds, and these have a deferred call provision, which allows them to call the bonds if they want. They don't have to do this, but they're able to if they want. So we're going to solve 2 different pieces: yield to call and yield to maturity. Both of these we're solving I/Y in your time value of money keys. And then we'll talk about kind of what this means or how companies would make these decisions given interest rates and different things changing. Okay, so first let's do yield to maturity. That's a little more straightforward and in line with what we've done so far. So we're given the information that the bonds mature in 20 years, but 1 year has already passed. So after 1 year, interest rates have fallen, causing bond prices to go up. Okay, so we're looking for yield to call and yield to maturity, given that information. So in on this yield to maturity, normally it would be 20 years, semi-annual times 2, but a year has passed. So we've got 19 years left, and it's semi-annual bonds. So N is going to be 38. We have 38 time periods remaining, 6-month periods, until these things mature. All right, the payment, we're told, is 8% times 1,000. So $80, but again, divided by 2, semi-annual. Get all these things consistent in payment and I/Y. Present value, the cost of the bonds, $14.22.52. And what else do we have? Future value, 1,000. Okay, so if you solve for I/Y, I got 2.3159. Multiply it by 2. I'll write it up here for space. So 2.3159 times 2 is going to give you yield to maturity of 4.6319. All right, so that's your answer for yield to maturity. Just like we've done before, the only new thing was this number of time periods changed since some time had passed. All right, yield to call. So with this, we're trying to figure out what is the rate, what is the actual rate paid if these are called after 10 years, okay? So 10 years is our time period. We're gonna assume they're called here, but a year has passed. So 10 years minus 1, we've got 9 left. 9 years, semi-annual, so it's going to be 18 for N. Sorry, there's kind of a glare. All right, so 18 is N. Future value. We're still going to have the $1,000. However, if you read the problem carefully, if they are called, there's a call premium equal to 1 year of interest, okay? So this is the interest, the payment, the coupon payments. In a year, you would get $80, 2 payments of $40 each 6 months. So future value is going to be the 1,000, just like normal, plus this $80 premium. All right, so 1,080 is now your future value. Okay, present value stays the same. That's our price today. And payment stays the same. All right, and remember, make the present value negative, and then you can keep your future value and your payment as positive, get those cash flows go in the right direction. All right, then solve for I/Y. I got 1.6524 times 2. $3.3047%. All right, versus the 4.6319% on yield to maturity. Okay, so that's your answer. These two are your answers. That's yield to call, that's yield to maturity. The next step of this, which I didn't ask you in the problem, is, so now what? What happens? Does Apple call these bonds, or do they not call them? It's up to them to choose. With the call provision, it's up to the company what they're going to do. So what would we expect and why? Well, this is how much it costs them to call in interest, this 3.3047 versus the 4.6319% if they do not call them. And this is the cost to Apple. So we would expect them to call because it's cheaper. It only costs them 3.3% versus the 4.6. Okay, so they're borrowing this money to do cool things, whatever Apple's doing, developing a new iPhone or something, and they raise hundreds of millions or billions in debt, in bonds to fund this project. And now interest rates have changed, causing the price to change, and now this call provision comes in. So let's talk a little bit about kind of that, how that works, this relationship between interest rates and bond prices and how that all plays out. All right. So if you read your problem again, it says, after 1 year, interest rates have fallen, they've decreased, okay? And this caused the price of the bond to go up. So we have this inverse relationship. If interest rates go down, bond price goes up, and vice versa is also true. If interest rates increase, we're going to see the price of bonds go down, okay? And this is what we've seen through the coronavirus pandemic. The Fed keeps lowering rates. We've seen interest rates go down, and we've seen the price of bonds go up because of that. So why? Why does that happen? What's the mechanism or kind of the intuition? All right, if you think about bonds and how this works, when these are first issued, when they first are sold, you've got the coupon payments. And these are fixed payments. It's fixed income. You know that percentage, you know how much you're going to get. It doesn't change. So the bond is locked in at these fixed coupon payments. But the price is not fixed. These are traded. You know, there's a market after the bonds are issued by Apple. You could decide, I don't want to hold this for 20 years to keep getting the coupon payments. I just want to sell now in the market for whatever price they're going for and cash out. Whoever buys them then would get the coupon payments. So this is not fixed. The price can move up and down. And the reason that's going to move up and down with interest rates is because once a company issues a bond, this is fixed. It cannot change. Let's say interest rates go down, right? So that means all things equal, if the company were to borrow money again right now today, after interest rates have dropped, they could do it cheaper, right? They could borrow money and pay a lower coupon. They could pay a lower price because rates are lower. So think about that from reverse. If you're holding these bonds, if you're the investor that bought them, if you're fixed in, you're locked at this interest rate. Maybe you're locked in at 6% on the coupon, and then interest rates change, interest rates go down. So new bonds that are now issued or sold are only going to pay maybe 4.5%, right? So this is now a premium product. You're getting a 6% rate that you otherwise would not be able to get. So the price is affected by that. You could sell that bond because it's still locked at 6% until maturity, until that's over. So that's going to cause the price of the bond to go up. You can then sell if you want, and pocket the difference, make that initial return early on. All right. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Think through it. You can watch through the video a couple times or email me with questions. That's the most complex we're going to get with bonds. I want you to understand this, how this relationship works, interest rates changing, the price of bonds changing, how and why that happens. And just get on Wall Street Journal or something, read some articles and look into it. You'll see how bond prices have changed lately. And there's other things going into that, of course, as big things happen, people move out of stocks, they tend to go into bonds, so that's going to push the price higher as well. But for now, if you just get this relationship with interest rates and the changing bond prices, that would be great. Okay, moving forward, for next week, we'll jump into Chapter 9, stocks. We'll do some dividend models there, and then shoot for a test either at the end of next week, Friday, or depending on how next week goes and how the lectures and problems are going, we may push it to the following week. All right, so keep me posted on how y'all are feeling and doing there. And if I can do anything to help, let me know. Have a good afternoon and a good Easter weekend.